Hello everybody, my name is Wilder, and Rune Factory 6 has been officially announced. I know I'm a little late, but Marvelous had a live stream showcase where they announced quite a few titles that'll be coming in the future, and one of them was Rune Factory 6. After seeing that, I thought it would be fun to do what I did all the way back when Rune Factory 5 was announced and make a what I'm hoping for video. It was a ton of fun the first time, and you all seemed to really like it, so let's do it again. Here's what I'm hoping for when it comes to Rune Factory 6. Now first up is one of my biggest problems when it came to Rune Factory 5, and that's the dungeons. I want better dungeons in Rune Factory 6. In 5, a lot of the dungeons felt kinda lifeless, and they kind of only had two modes, either super linear and easy, or super confusing and difficult. There was really no in between. Even the bosses at the end of all the dungeons were really easy. I think I actually struggled with some dungeon enemies and even dungeon hazards more than the actual bosses. I just want the dungeons to be better, a little bigger, and for them to actually use that space and make them interesting. Give every dungeon a gimmick to go along with its theme instead of just the forest one, or the ice one, or the lava one. I just want a little more to make them more memorable. Honestly, I don't remember anything from the earlier dungeons other than just walking through them. And for the later dungeons, the increase in difficulty just spiked, like it came out of nowhere. I want a nice balance between all the dungeons, and some more interesting bosses as well. That'd be nice. Now next is also related to combat. I want the combat itself to be more advanced, if you know what I mean. The combat in Rune Factory 5 was fun for me, but I want it to evolve again, and personally, I think the best way to evolve combat and improve it when it comes to games is to introduce more movement options for the player. If you have more advanced movement available to you and you get good at using the tools that are given to you, then you can improve endlessly and overcome just about any challenge that the game throws at you. I guess that's what I want. I want the ability to improve and get better at using a more advanced combat system. Now I know I'm talking about Rune Factory here and not Devil May Cry or something like that, but honestly, I still think this want fits perfectly. Rune Factory's combat is cool and it's flashy. I just want the technical skill behind the flashy movement to match it is all. That way it'll feel better to use and feel like you can actually improve at it a lot and just get better and better. And with that, you can also afford to up the difficulty and AI of the enemies a bit because you've given the player the tools that they need to handle it. I realize that's a big want for me, and that there are probably going to be quite a few people who disagree with that, but hey, that's completely fine. That's just what I want from the combat moving forward. But let's move away from combat and talk about the world and its characters. First of all, I would like them to keep the open world for Rune Factory 6. I really would, but I want them to fill it with something other than just enemies. I want it to feel alive and not so empty. Maybe even put a small town somewhere in there so you can use the villagers from that town and make them travel to the open world and go to the main town where you'll live to, I don't know, like set up shop on certain days or something. I want to see people living and traveling through the open world. And it would make the world feel more alive. Maybe you can chat with them and help them as well. I mean, there are a lot of monsters out there. Maybe you can find random events where you save people for a reward and an increase to their friendship. I would love that. Plus, it would be nice to have a smaller town nearby with side characters so that we have more characters to talk to overall. I think that filling the open world would make it feel so much better. Speaking of though, I can't not talk about the performance issues Rune Factory 5 had on the Switch and just in general. I know that the open world had a lot to do with it, especially when you were in town and near the main gate. Now, I wouldn't mind the main town being a loading screen away from the rest of the open world, but what I really want them to do for Rune Factory 6 is to stop hiding behind the Switch and optimize their game properly. Yes, I know the Switch isn't super strong. Yes. But for the love of God, please optimize your game. They literally did it a little bit to Rune Factory 5 after the game came out. They could have done it more, but decided not to. The Switch may not be the most powerful console ever, but it's better than what we've seen from Rune Factory so far. Please optimize your game. Anyway, on a happier note, let's talk about the town itself. For the first thing, I know I'm not alone on this one, can we please have our own house that's not connected to anything? In 4, it was connected to the castle, and in 5, it was connected to the seed building. Can we please have our own house again? I actually really miss it, and I don't like living connected to main buildings that people just walk around in next to your home. At the very least, can we get some doors to block off the main parts of the building? In 5, it was just a staircase. Like, I just want my privacy, that's all. Something I did like about the home in 5, though, was the furniture customization. I just hope they improve upon it and make it more intuitive, because I know a lot of people, myself included, were using exploits to get the furniture to sit just where we wanted it all to. That system was not very user-friendly when it came to how far you could go with the customization, so I really hope they improve on it. And speaking of improvement, I really want more diverse marriage candidates for Rune Factory 6. The guys in 5, they were great. There was a wide variety, but for the girls, it was definitely not the same story. The girls just didn't have much variety when it came to their looks, and in some cases their personality would even overlap in some situations, and it just honestly wasn't the greatest. I can't wait to see if they improve the variety of marriage candidates in 6, because I think it's one of the things that 5 was really missing. It always felt really unbalanced between the guys and the girls. Also, can we please get a little more dialogue? I know I always say this when it comes to farming sims, and while it's true that you can never have too much dialogue when it comes to a game like Rune Factory, this is more about the feeling of going backwards from 4. I feel that Rune Factory 4 had way more dialogue than 5 did, and it was a step backwards. I don't know how true this is overall, but that's just how it felt for me, especially with all the events you could trigger in 4, and with the lunchtime meetups at the restaurant especially. I loved walking in the restaurant and seeing all the guys or the girls sitting at one table together chatting, and listening in on their conversations. It made the characters feel more alive, like they didn't revolve around you specifically, they had their own lives and schedules. I just want to go forwards more, not backwards. One other thing that I really wanted to touch on was something that I don't know if I'm alone on, and that's some type of multiplayer feature. Do I believe that Rune Factory needs this big multiplayer 2 to 4 person adventure? Even though it would be cool, no I don't. Do I even think that Rune Factory 6 will need multiplayer at all? Not really, but I think it would be really cool to have something like in the past Harvest Moon games. Something like trading items and getting to meet and interact with your friends' monsters. In Harvest Moon A New Beginning, you could meet up with up to 3 other random players. You would all exchange some items, then you guys would get to interact with some of your animals that belonged to you all. You're allowed to choose an animal to bring with you to meet other people, and it was really cool. I got some really useful and rare items out of it, and I got to see some really funny animal names as well. I would love something little like this for Rune Factory 6. Since Rune Factory has a big focus on combat, it would be cool to be able to fight alongside your friends. You know, like something similar to what Rune Factory 3 kinda did, but even just a simple little meetup for trades and meeting new monsters would be great, I think. I don't know, I guess it's just because I know so many people who play these games, and with all the streams that I've done, it would be cool to include more people in the future, and, you know, to help out others with specific tasks or items. But yeah, let me know what you think about even little multiplayer things being in Rune Factory. Would you like them? Do you think it needs it? Because I don't think so, but again, I think it would be really cool. And there are a few little things I want as well, like more side content, like the bounties in 5, that was pretty cool. And more secrets, like hidden bosses or dungeons that are completely optional, hidden around the open world. That would also make the open world feel more alive and worth exploring, I would say. Oh yeah, and can we please get some type of character customization already? It has been 5 games, going on 6 now, not to count other games we've gotten, like Tides of Destiny. Can we please customize our character? For a game where you can get married and have friendships with other people and name your character and put yourself into this character's shoes, you'd think they would let us customize them a little bit. I mean, at least we got outfits, but still, character customization? Hello, where is it? It's been quite a while now. I would think that they would have implemented it already. But yeah, for the most part, there is my list. Definitely let me know what you think of it, and if you would add anything else, because that's going to be it from me today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and as always, I will see you in the next one.